a baker from Goa? 15 important short question answers. Class 10 English First Flight CBSE. 1. Who introduced the tradition of baking in Goa? The Portuguese introduced the tradition of baking in Goa during their rule. Why does the author say that the baker still exists in Goa? The author means that although the Portuguese have left Goa, the tradition of baking continues and bakers are still an important part of Goan life. What were the Goan bakers known as? The Goan bakers were known as padders. Why was bread an essential part of Goan life? Bread was eaten every day and was necessary for festivals, marriages, and other celebrations. How did the baker announce his arrival? The baker announced his arrival by tapping his bamboo staff on the ground and calling out to the customers. Why did children eagerly wait for the baker? The children eagerly waited for the baker because they loved the fresh loaves and sweet bread bangles he brought. What was the baker's dress called? The baker's traditional dress was called the kabai, a single-piece long frock reaching up to the knees. Why were bakers respected in Goan society? Bakers were respected because they supplied bread for daily meals as well as for important social and religious occasions. What does the author remember about his childhood? He remembers waiting excitedly for the baker every morning and enjoying fresh bread and sweet bread bangles. What role did bread play during festivals and marriages? Bread was an essential item in festivals, marriages, and other celebrations, making it an important part of Goan culture. How do we know that baking was a profitable profession? The baker and his family were How do we know that baking was a profitable profession? The baker and his family were prosperous and enjoyed a comfortable lifestyle, showing that baking was a profitable profession. What does the story reveal about Portuguese influence in Goa? It reveals that Portuguese influence remained in Goa through its baking tradition, food habits, and cultural practices. What qualities of the baker impressed the author? The baker was hardworking, punctual, and dedicated to his profession. What is the central idea of a baker from Goa? The chapter highlights the importance of preserving cultural traditions and respecting traditional occupations. What message do we learn from the chapter? The chapter teaches us to value our cultural heritage, respect every occupation, and preserve traditions for future generations.